வணக்கம். இந்த குழந்தைகள் யாராவது உள்ளே இருந்துச்சுங்கன்னா அதை 3rd ஃப்ளோர் 3வது தளத்துக்கு கூட்டிகிட்டு போகும்போது அன்போடு கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறோம். குழந்தைகள் யாராவது முதல் தளத்தில் வச்சுருந்தீங்கன்னா 3வது தளத்துக்கு கொண்டு போகுமாறு அன்போடு கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறோம். பெற்றோர்கள் இருவர் மட்டுமே முதல் தளத்தில் அனுமதி. கூடுதலாக யாராவது பெற்றோர் பேரண்ட்ஸ் வச்சுருந்தீங்கன்னா 3வது தளத்தில் அமருமாறு அன்போடு கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறோம். தயவு செய்து உங்களுடைய கைபேசியை அணைத்து வைக்குமாறு அன்போடு கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறோம். நன்றி.
We kindly request everyone to switch off their mobile phones or keep them in silent modes. I repeat, I request everyone to switch off their mobile phones or to keep in silent mode. Hello.
happy and make others happy.
check. Hello. 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 A very good morning, one and all. Students who haven't yet registered their names for the ceremony are kindly asked to go in front of the open auditorium to register their names. Graduates, those who haven't yet registered their names for the ceremony are kindly asked to go in front area of the open auditorium to register their names.
Convocation robes will be provided for the girls and boys in the front area of the open auditorium. We request these graduates to go and collect it. Please collect your robes along with your registration process.
Parents and graduates are requested to switch off their mobile phones or put it on silent mode. Please maintain the decorum during the ceremony.
Graduates, kindly occupy your seats allotted to you. You all are requested to be seated only on your allotted seats.
For any further help, please do contact our NSS and YRC volunteers.
All the faculties are registered to assemble at the syndicate room immediately. We request all the faculty members to assemble at the syndicate room immediately.
Graduates are requested to wear their robes immediately. Faculties, please assemble at the syndicate room.
We request the faculties to kindly assemble at the syndicate room immediately. All the graduates are asked to maintain discipline and decorum inside the auditorium. I repeat, all the graduates are asked to maintain decorum and discipline inside the auditorium. அந்த நேம் தான் நீங்க தான் கூப்பிடணும் ஸ்டேஜ்ல. Parents and graduates are asked to switch off their mobile phones or put it in silent modes. I repeat, parents and graduates are requested to switch off their mobile phones or put it in silent mode inside the auditorium. இப்போ இது ஓகே தானே? அதான்
Graduates, please occupy your seats allotted to you. You are requested to be seated only on your allotted seats. Please maintain the decorum during the ceremony and inside the auditorium.
Graduates, those who haven't yet registered their names for the ceremony, are kindly requested to go to the front area of the open auditorium to register and collect their robes.
Hello, check. NSS and YRC representatives, please come near the stage.
Students are kindly requested to maintain discipline and decorum inside the auditorium.
Dear graduates, good morning to one and all. Kindly listen. Please sit in your respective places. Your names will be pasted on your places. Kindly sit there. Dear graduates, kindly sit in your respective places. Your names will be pasted on your seats. Kindly sit there.
Graduates are requested to maintain silence.
Etihad believes in going the extra.
Graduates are requested to kindly maintain discipline and decorum inside the auditorium. I repeat, graduates are requested to kindly maintain.
Hello. Parents and graduates are requested to switch off their mobile phones or put it on silent mode. Please maintain the decorum during the ceremony and inside the auditorium.
சரி. சரி, சரி.
Graduates are requested to maintain the decorum during the ceremony and inside the auditorium. Graduates, please occupy your seats allotted to you. You are requested to be seated only on your allotted seats.
சின்ன சின்ன விஷயங்கள்ல கோவம் வர்றதுனால
The dignitaries will be arriving shortly, so please maintain silence and decorum inside the auditorium.
We request everyone to kindly switch off their mobile phones or put it on the silent mode.
Please rise at your feet as the dignitaries are arriving. A very good morning to one and all present here. Kindly raise as the dignitaries are arriving. Glory gives herself only to those who dream of her. This is indeed an incredible day where glory has descended from heaven. Marching in all glory are seasoned faculty of JPR Institute of Technology, followed by the brilliant heads of various departments who are leading our esteemed dignitaries, our chief guest, Mr. Anand Mohan Ram, our dean, Mr. Madhusudanan, our academic advisor and governing council member, Reverend Father Michael A.D., and our magnanimous director, Dr. N. Murray Wilson. Please raise at your feet and put your hands together as the dignitaries are arriving.
Let us begin this solemn event by invoking the spirit of our motherland. For Tamil Thai Varthu.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடங்க தெளிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ் பரக கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் அதிசிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாளும் தக்க சிறு திரை முதலும் தரிக்கணரும் திரதமுகே அத்திரக வாசனை போல் அணித்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழலங்கே தமிழலங்கே உன் சீரிடமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் பறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Kindly be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, esteemed faculty members, and more importantly, the bright and accomplished graduates of JPR Institute of Technology, welcome to this momentous occasion, the 7th graduation ceremony of the batch 2018 to 2022.
The journey these graduates embarked upon was not merely an academic pursuit, but a quest for understanding and innovation. They have spent countless hours in the laboratories, classrooms, and workshops, honing the skills and preparing to contribute to the ever-evolving world of engineering. We also take a moment to recognize the unwavering support and guidance provided by the faculty, mentors, and families of these graduates. Your encouragement has been instrumental in shaping these bright minds.
Today, as we celebrate the achievement of the graduates, let us reaffirm our belief in their potential to make a difference. Let us extend our warmest congratulations to the graduating class of 2018 to 2022 as they prepare to engineer a future that is innovative, sustainable, and transformative.
I request our Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Anand Mohan Ram, Managing Director, Mr. Cooper Group, to commence the 7th graduation day of the batch 2018 to 2022.
Thank you. Hereby declaring the graduation ceremony open.
Thank you, sir.
A leader is not a mere dreamer, he's a visionary. Our Managing Director, Dr. N. Murray Wilson, is very being of this saying, and I request him to kindly deliver the presidential address. Please, sir.
Marie Varga, respected Chief Guest, Mr. Anand Mohan Ram, Managing Director, Mr. Cooper Group, Dean, faculties, parents, and my dear graduating friends. Very good morning. First of all, my congratulations to each one of you graduating from the prestigious Anna University of class 2018. Happiest occasion, not just for you, but also to the entire family of JPR Institute of Technology, that includes your parents. Let's first appreciate your parents. All the graduates, give a round of applause. Without parents, I think this occasion we will not be enjoying. Not for this occasion alone, for the entire life, very important is the parents. You, me, and even the chief guest, everybody here, very important parents. As the Bible has 10 commandments. The very important commandment we have: honor your father and mother. You might go to various great positions in the near future, very sooner or later. But failing to honor your father and mother, it's utter waste. I am here because of my father and mother. Even a couple of days before, was not present here in the college. I had to be stand by next to my father, who is hospitalized, and I had to be here next to him. I learned a lot of things from my parents. Even this situation, we have everything, my family. But yesterday I could see my mother and father not compromising on the self-respect. I told them, please come back to Chennai, I will take care of you here. He said, no, you go and mind your business. I know how to take care of myself. I worked in this medicine field for 40 years. I will stay only in the government hospital. Don't allow me. Don't shift me. I was wondering, Ma, please come. I will take you. We go to some hospitals where we can manage your medication and everything. She said, no, I know how to handle, you go. I learned a lot of things, continue learning from my parents, even in this hour, this minute. Probably at this time of graduating, you might have in your mind, I have learned a lot of my technical skill. Yes, you did from Anna University. You learned a lot of things, technical, communication. Probably at this point of time, you might be employed in some of the organization. But that's different. That's different. The most important thing is human values. That is the need of the hour, where you could see lot of challenges in front of you today. Lot of challenges. Probably at this 1 year gap, after coming back to this institution, you would have changed a lot. A maturity would have come, I believe so. Lot of challenges. The companies where you're working, or higher education where you're studying, you meet lot of students from different culture. In your office, lot of bullying, lot of cornering, politics, everything, lot of things. But how to overcome all these things if you have a good human value, qualities within you? The passion in your career is the most important thing. Learning is a continuous process, சொல்லுவாங்க. If you could see our founder and chairman, Colonel Dr. JPR, at the mid-60s, நல்லா கேட்டுக்கணும், mid-60s, he joined Anna University as a full-time PhD scholar. PhD, full-time scholar at the mid-60s, when he was in mid-60s. He went to Anna University to pursue his PhD in water resource management. Every day, from morning 8 o'clock till 11 o'clock, is university hour. He went there, he sat in the regular bench, he adapted to that culture, he never complained, he never have excuses for his absence. Rather, he made a point that he visited the university regularly. He attended 4 years of regular research classes. Then he got graduated in the university where you are getting an undergraduate degree. Such an example, he is the man, Colonel Dr. JPR. The reason why I insist here is because your engineering degree, undergraduation from Anna University is the base, is the foundation. From here on, you have to build up, because look at the technology growing. Huge technology changes. When you studied today, entirely different. Today we have AI, artificial intelligence. We have generative AI ன்னு சொல்லிட்டாங்க. Today next level, generative AI. Coding very important சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. Today low code, no code. அந்த டெக்னாலஜி வந்துடுச்சு. பைத்தான் சொன்னாங்க, இப்போ ரஸ்ட் வந்துடுச்சு, ரஸ்ட் பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் வந்துடுச்சு. Lot of changes. We have to adapt very quickly. We have to learn quickly. Only then we can survive. Probably I believe that my students are very smart. Definitely they will cope up with the technology. But you have to be very strong. You have to have the courage. Passion இருக்கணும், compassion இருக்கணும். You have to have the courage. These three things is very important in your life. Very, very important. The next thing I want to say is this institution in which you have studied. When you joined here, probably you would have learned a lot of things. Yes, there would have been difference of opinion. Lot of things have changed from the moment you left. Especially this particular year, 2023. I think it's a blessing year for all the staff, for all the students, and also for the alumni, and also for you graduating students. 23 we started with the National Board of Accreditation of Computer Science and IT. Successfully we got that accreditation. May 2023, we have to go for a reassessment with NAC, National Assessment Accreditation Council. From B++, we got A+, அது ஒரு certification கிடைச்சது. 2 days before, we got from the UGC an autonomous status, autonomous. So we are in the process of developing ourselves. We are learning a lot of things. Every time and then we get to involve with bureaucrats, academicians. We get to know what exactly is needed for the hour. And we are learning and we are towards that. In 4 years from now, I'm telling you in this platform, we will definitely be in university status in 4 years from now, 2028. So we have a lot of plans. As graduating students today, in 3 years from now, you might be in very good positions. But you have to come back and give us the knowledge. A knowledge to the department, faculties, knowledge to your students. That is what I'm expecting from you. Lot of students from here are very active in alumni. They come back, they recommend their corporate companies where they work to have a center of excellence in collaboration with the academic board of studies, department advisory board, and so on. So I'm expecting the same from you people also. I will be very happy if that happens. Every time I used to say my student, very important, when wealth is lost, nothing is lost. When health is lost, something is lost. When character is lost, everything is lost. So take your character tightly, hold that character very towards your heart. That should not have changed. Probably நிறைய இன்னைக்கு ஓத் எடுப்பீங்க at the end of your graduation, after the commencement of the presidential address by the chief guest. இன்னொரு ஓத்து ஒன்று எடுக்கணும் நீங்கள். Very important. We are talking about equality, இல்லையா? Gender equality. So boys also have done their graduation in engineering. Girls also are equal now. Yes or no? So இன்னொரு ஓத்து எடுங்க. ஒரு சோஷியல் ஈவில் ஒன்று சுற்றிக்கிட்டு இருக்கு நம்ம சொசைட்டியில். நோ கிவ் டவுரி, டோன்ட் டேக் டவுரி. எடுக்கலாமா? நோவா? I think it will be better. That will arrest almost all the social thoughts and evil thoughts in the society. அந்த பிகினிங்காக நீங்கள் இருப்பீங்க நம்புகிறேன். I wish you once again a very happy career. All the best. God bless you. Peace to you all. நன்றி, வணக்கம். Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring notions. I request Mr. Gabriel Isaac of Second Year ECE to introduce the chief guest, Mr. Anand Manohar Ram, Managing Director, Mr. Cooper Group.
Check. Mr. Anand Mohan Ram, the Managing Director of Mr. Cooper Group, with more than 27 years of experience in IT and IT-enabled services. Mr. Anand is currently the Managing Director of Mr. Cooper Group, India. In his current role, he is responsible for fostering closer collaboration between technology and business team and enable end-to-end transformation. Prior to Mr. Cooper Group's, Mr. Anand superheaded the digital transformation journey at Singapore Post and helped set up the technology center at Chennai, India. Mr. Anand had a long stint with Infosys for 12 plus years, heading the e-commerce practice for retail and logistic customers across the globe. Outside his professional career, Anand is one of the co-founders of Matram Foundation, non-profit organization in the field of education. Mr. Anand is passionate about mathematics and numbers and is an avid blogger. Mr. Anand graduated from BITS Pilani and is a native of Chennai, India. We are so privileged to have you, sir.
I request the Managing Director, Dr. N. Maria Wilson, to felicitate our esteemed chief guest with a memento. Please, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, dignitaries. Authentic leaders inspire us to make the impossible possible. We are privileged to have one such personality amidst us today, and we are eager to enthrall in his innovative discourse. I kindly request our chief guest, Mr. Anand Mohan Ram, Managing Director, Mr. Cooper Group, to address the gathering. Sir, please.
Good morning. First of all, congratulations to all the students who are graduating today. You are the special guest, not some of us here. Honorable Director, esteemed faculty, proud parents. I think without you, the students won't be here where they are today. And definitely the special guest of the day, the students, very happy to be here. Honored to be part of this graduation ceremony. When I was told about this a couple of weeks ago, one, it's always, I feel pretty good coming back to any college or university because it gives an opportunity to recollect what I would have probably, I have done 25 years back in my alma mater, and also get to learn more. Like sir said, learning is a continuous process. You get to learn new things, interacting with faculty members, students. I mean, today when we went around the entire R&D lab, etc., there is something new that we always learn. So always happy to be part of the student community, and that's something I relish. So very glad to be there. I'll I mean, this is a moment for the students, for each one of you to look back, savor last 4-5 years. A lot of things changed. I mean, due to the pandemic, there were new things that happened, which for which many of us had to adapt. So that itself is a major learning for us. We need to continuously adapt to the changes. There are unknowns that come up. Probably we never know what is in store 1 year down the line. So as normally they say, let's take one day at a time. மெதுவா ஒரு ஸ்டெப்பா எடுக்கலாம், baby steps எடுக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. So it's very important to have that patience and also adapt to all the changes that are happening. There are only few things I just wanted to give as my inputs to all the students here. I mean, just based on my experience having worked in the industry for now close to 27 years. So all of you would, this is, to begin with, this is actually a beginning, right? New beginning for you. College life comes to a closure, but you would be getting into the corporate life. So that's a pretty new beginning. So remember that, so you are going to start a new leaf of life. இங்கேருந்து அடுத்த ஸ்டெப் எப்படி இருக்கிறோங்கிறது இட்ஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டண்ட். வாட் எவர் யூ லேர்ன் ஃப்ரம் யுவர் காலேஜ் அல்மா மேட்டர் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டண்ட். நெவர் ஃபர்கெட் தட். யூ வுட் ஹவ் மேட் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ். It's very important to remain in touch with your faculty members, professors, and like sir said, remember what your parents would have sacrificed to get you here, right? Some of these, even 20-25 years today, as a group, we remain in touch with our batchmates and with our professors back in college. So why is it important? One, it's our way of repaying the faith. Thank them for where we are today. And also constantly see how you can give back to your college, to the society where you grew up, right? You could be in anywhere, any part of the world. People travel these days across the globe. So you could reside anywhere, you could go and settle down anywhere, doesn't matter. But there are few things, keep in mind. The college years, we keep talking about it in our day-to-day conversations. The best part of our life, if somebody asks me, was those 4-5 years we spent in college. You will never get that, believe me. Right? The freedom you had, as well as some of the challenges, the fights or arguments you would have had with friends, you are never going to get that in a corporate setup. It will have its own learnings, but this was the best period probably where you had, it was almost like that inflection point அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. 17 வயசுலேருந்து 21 வயசு 2 வயசு போச்ச ஃப்ரீடமும் இருக்கும். அண்ட் இன் டேர்ம்ஸ் ஆஃப் ரொம்ப ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி இருக்குன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. 20-21 ஜாப் கிடைச்சோன்னா அந்த ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக யூ வில் ஆல் ஸ்டார்ட் கெட்டிங் இன் டு. பட் அந்த பீரியடில் தான் வந்து யூ வில் ஆல்சோ லேர்ன், யூ வுட் ஹவ் ஆல்சோ லேர்ன் ஹவு டு ரிமைன் இண்டிபெண்ட், ஹவு டு பிகம் இண்டிபெண்ட். இப்போ நிறைய எக்ஸ்போஷர் இருக்குது. என்ன கேட்டிங்கன்னா, ஐ மீன் IT revolution சொல்லலாம். 1990s when I was graduating, IT companies were setting up shop in India. So most of us wanted to get in IT, and that's the boom India went through, right? Before 1991, some of us are on the stage here, we would have seen economy was very different. 1991 to 1996 the Indian economy opened up. Significant change happened from there on, right? அதுக்கப்புறம் ஐடி வாஸ் அ ரெவல்யூஷன். பட் மோர் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட்லி அதுக்கப்புறம் இந்த இப்போ எல்லாரும் பாக்கெட்டில் வச்சுருக்கோம் இல்லையா, மொபைல் ரெவல்யூஷன். தட் சேஞ்ச் எவ்ரி திங். ஒரு மொபைல் டிவைஸ், இஃப் யூ ஆஸ்க் மீ ஒன் திங் தட் சேஞ்ச் த என்டையர் வே வி ஆப்ரேட், இட்ஸ் நாட் ஐடி ஆர் ஜஸ்ட் டெக்னாலஜி, இட்ஸ் தட் மொபைல் ரெவல்யூஷன், ரைட்? எனிவேர். இப்போ இஃப் யூ கோ டு யுவர் வில்லேஜ், யூ வாண்ட் டு பே சம்திங் டு த வெண்டர் தேர்னா ஒரு QR கோட் வச்சுருக்காங்க. That's how it is connected. We are all connected that way. And ஒரு வாட்ஸ்அப் கால் பண்ணோம், ஒரு யூஎஸ்ல இருக்காங்க, யூகேல இருக்காங்கன்னா, இட்ஸ் ஜஸ்ட் a வாட்ஸ்அப் கால் அவே, ஒரு வீடியோ கால் பண்ணுறது. இஃப் ஐ ரோல் பேக் 25 years ago, 1991-92ல் இங்கேயும் ட்ரெயின் பிடிச்சி தான் பிலானிக்கு போவோம். பிலானி வந்து ராஜஸ்தானில் இருக்குது. ஃபஸ்ட்டு வீட்டிலலாம் வந்து ராஜஸ்தான் வரைக்கும் போகணுமான்னு ஃபஸ்ட்டு கொஸ்டின் வந்தது, ரைட்? எனக்கு சார் ஈக்குவாலிட்டி பற்றி சொன்னார். ஒன் குட் திங் இஸ், என்னோட பேட்ச்லேயே 35% கேர்ள்ஸ் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் இருந்தாங்க. 65% பாய்ஸ், 35% கேர்ள்ஸ். அப்போவே இமேஜின், அந்த டைமில் ஒரு ஃபோன் கூட கிடையாது. தமிழ்நாடு எக்ஸ்பிரஸ் இங்கே சென்னையில் ஏற்றி விட்டாங்கன்னா பேரண்ட்ஸு 2 நாளைக்கு நாங்கள் போய் சேர்ந்தோமா நியூஸ் கூட வராது. எல்லாமே அடுத்த நாள் ஹிந்து நியூஸ் பேப்பர் ஆர் இந்தியன் எக்ஸ்பிரஸ் படித்தா தெரியும். இல்லைன்னா போய் எஸ்டிடி கால் பண்ணோம், அதுக்கு ஒரு க்யூ நிற்கும். ப்ளஸ் 9 o'clock நைட்டுக்கு மேலே தான் வந்து ஹாஃப் ரேட் குவார்ட்டர் ரேட்லாம் ஆரம்பிக்கும். ஸோ வீட்டில் கால் பண்ணாங்களே அப்பா உதைப்பார், உன யார் இப்போ முன்னாடி கால் பண்ண சொல்கிறது, இப்போ 10 மணிக்கு அப்புறம் கால் பண்ணால் குவார்ட்டர் ரேட். அதுக்கு ஒரு ரீசன் இருந்தது, அவ்வளோ ஹார்ட் ஒர்க் பண்ணி அவங்க படிக்க வைக்கிறது, ஸோ பணம் செலவழிக்க வேண்டாங்கிறது. பட் எதுக்கு சொல்ல வரேன்னா, இட் டுக் 2 days. ஃபஸ்ட்டு டைம் வென் ஐ வென்ட் டு பிலானி, டெல்லியிலேருந்து பஸ் பிடிச்சி 12 மணி நேரம் ஆச்சு, 2 வாட்டி பஞ்சர் ஆச்சு பஸ். ஸோ ஒன்றும் இப்போ வந்து உடனே ஒரு ட்வீட் பண்ணுறோம், இன்ஸ்டாகிராமில் போட்டு இட்ஸ் வெரி ஹாட், ஐ எம் ஸ்டக் ஹியர், அப்போ அதெல்லாம் கிடையாது. ஒரு ஹாட் பஞ்சர் ஆச்சுன்னா வெளில உட்காந்து ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸோட பேசுவோம். வி யூஸ் டு டாக் வித் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ், ரைட்? அண்ட் தட்ஸ் ஹவ் வி கேம் அப். அண்ட் பிலானி வாஸ் அ ப்ரீமியர் காலேஜ் ஆல்சோ. ஒன்லி திங், ராஜஸ்தானில் நடுவில் ஒரு ஸ்மால் டவுனில் இருந்து இட் டுக் அபவுட் 48 hours டு ரீச் பிலானி. அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் போயிட்டு ஒரு ஃபோனோ, முந்தி போஸ்ட் கார்டு தான் எழுதுவோம், போஸ்ட் கார்டு இருந்தால் 7 நாள் ஆகும் வீட்டுக்கு வரது. பட் எல்லோரும் பேஷண்ட்டாக இருந்தாங்க. அந்த பேஷன்ஸ் அன்ஃபார்ச்சுனேட்லி இப்போ குறைஞ்சிருது. இப்போ எல்லாமே இன்ஸ்டன்டேனியஸ் ஆகிடுது. ஒரு நியூஸ் வேணும்னா நம்மளுக்கு ஃபஸ்ட்டு எது கண்ணில் படுறதோ அதான் நியூஸ். அன்ஃபார்ச்சுனேட்லி முந்தியெல்லாம் நியூஸ்க்காக வெயிட் பண்ணும். ஸோ எதுக்கு இந்த ரீசன் சொல்கிறேன், எதுக்கு சொல்கிறேன்னா, as you get into the corporate world, try to absorb information from multiple sources. முதல்ல இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் வாங்குங்க. ஃபஸ்ட்டு பேலன்ஸ்டாக இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் எல்லாத்தையும் படித்து பார்த்துட்டு கம் டு யுவர் டிசிஷன். டோன்ட் கோ பை எமோஷன். நிறைய வந்து ஃபார்வர்ட்லேயே லைஃப் ஒர்க் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கிறதுனால ரியாக்ட் பண்ணுற உடனே. நம்பர் 1, இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் இஸ் வெரி வெரி பவர்ஃபுல் டுடே. இட்ஸ் இன் யுவர் பாக்கெட், பட் யூஸ் இட் வெரி வெரி ரெஸ்பான்சிபிளி. வெயிட் ஃபார் 4-5 சோர்ஸ் ஆஃப் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன். ஃபஸ்ட்டு அப்சர்வ் பண்ணிக்கோங்க அண்ட் தென் ரியாக்ட். அதர்வைஸ் யூ வில் பி பார்ட் ஆஃப் அ க்ரௌட். ஓகே, அங்கே எவனோ ஒருத்தர் சொல்லிட்டான், உடனே அதுதான் கரெக்ட் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி. வெயிட் ஃபார் என்டையர் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் டு டவுன்லோட். இதனால தான் நாங்கள் முந்தி தூர்தர்ஷன் மட்டும்தான் நியூஸ் காத்தால வரும், ஆல் இண்டியா ரேடியோ வரும். பட் அந்த சோர்ஸ் ஆஃப் நியூஸ் வாஸ் ஒன் சோர்ஸ் ஆஃப் நியூஸ் எதுக்குமே. நம்பர் 2, உங்களோட சாஃப்ட் ஸ்கில்ஸ். டெக்னாலஜி, when we go around, everyone will focus on technology that is relevant. இப்போ AML, டேட்டா மாடல், சைபர் செக்யூரிட்டி ஆர் கோர் டீமில் இருக்கிறவங்க மெக்கானிக்கல் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸாக இருக்கட்டும், சிவிலாக இருக்கட்டும், எவ்ரி ஒன் உங்களோட கோர் சப்ஜெக்ட் ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஸோ உங்களோட ஃபண்டமெண்டல்ஸ் யூ நீட் டு பி ஸ்ட்ராங். எந்த ஜாப் போனீங்கனாலும் ஃபஸ்ட்டு, இப்போ சில பேர் யூ ஹவ் காட் இன் டு கேம்பஸ், சம் ஆஃப் யூ மேபி அப்பியரிங் ஃபார் இன்டர்வியூஸ்லாம். ஃபஸ்ட் திங் கம்பெனிஸ் டெஸ்ட் பண்ணுறது நாட் வெதர் யூ ஆர் ஜாவா ப்ரோக்ராமர், சி ப்ரோக்ராமர். ஐ மீன் நாட் எவ்ரி ஒன் லேர்ன் ஜாவா ஆர் சி. கம்பெனிஸோட எக்ஸ்பெக்டேஷன் அது கிடையவே கிடையாது. எல்லாருமே ஜாவா சி தெரிஞ்சிருச்சுன்னா அப்போ இன்டர்வியூஸே வைக்க வேண்டாமே, அப்படியே எடுத்துக்கலாம். ஃபஸ்ட்டு உங்களோட கோர் சப்ஜெக்ட் ஃபண்டமெண்டல்ஸ் ஹவு ஸ்ட்ராங் யூ ஆருங்கிறது தான் பார்ப்பாங்க. இப்போ நீங்கள் மெக்கானிக்கல் இன்ஜினியர்னு இன்டர்வியூக்கு வந்தீங்கன்னா என்னோட எக்ஸ்பெக்டேஷன் வந்து ஹவ் வில் யூ டிசைன் அ ரோட்டர் ஃபேன். அந்த ஃபேன் டிசைன் வந்து நீங்கள் உங்களால் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ண முடியும்னா யூ நோ யுவர் சப்ஜெக்ட் வெல். ஆர் கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ் இன்ஜினியர்னா நெட்வொர்க்கிங் ஃபண்டமெண்டல் ஸ்ட்ராங்காக இருக்கா, டேட்டா ஸ்ட்ரக்சர்ஸ் ஸ்ட்ராங்காக இருக்கா. யாருமே உங்களை ஃபஸ்ட்டு ஒரு கோடு எழுதி காமிச்சு எனக்கு தட் இஸ் நாட் த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டெஸ்ட் வி டூ. அலாங் வித் அனலிட்டிக்கல் ஸ்கில்ஸ், உங்களோட மேத்தமேட்டிக்கல் லாஜிக்கல் ஸ்கில்ஸ் எப்படி இருக்குன்னு நிறைய வாட்டி கொஸ்டின் வரும். எதுக்கு வை மேத்தமேட்டிக்கல் லாஜிக்கல் ஸ்கில்ஸ்னால், ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட், இஃப் யூ ஆர் கிவன் அ ப்ராப்ளம் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட், ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் கொடுத்தா அது எப்படி பிரேக் டவுன் பண்ணுறீங்க, அதுக்கு தான் அனலிட்டிக்கல் லாஜிக்கல் ஸ்கில் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். இது வந்து சும்மா இந்த நம்பர்ஸ் டெஸ்ட் பண்ணுறது, அந்த பேட்டர்ன்ஸ்க்குன்னு இல்லை. அது நிறைய டெஸ்ட் எழுதி மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் தம் திங்க் ஒரு 4 இமேஜை கொடுத்துட்டு எதையோ கண்டுபிடிக்க சொல்கிறாங்க. ஒரு காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் பேட்டர்ன் கொடுத்தா நீங்கள் எப்படி அதை பிரேக் டவுன் பண்ணி சால்வ் பண்ணுறீங்க. ஸோ செகண்ட், அந்த கோர் subject knowledge, please never leave that. Number 3, most important, soft skills. Lot of times we focus on computer science or EC subject la. In general, India as a country, we are very strong on adapting to new technology. நாளைக்கு ஒரு புது, இப்போ ஒருத்தர் கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ் படிச்சிருக்கா, நாளைக்கு போய் ஒரு புது ப்ரோக்ராமிங் he or she has to learn னா கற்றுருவாங்க, 2 வாரம் தான். they will learn, they will be ready with the new skills. But where we lack in சொல்ல மாட்டேன், where we differ or where we postpone is soft skills. Soft skills வந்து வெறும் பேசுறது மட்டும் கிடையாது. பேசுறது இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். எப்படி பழகுறீங்க, how do you interact with other person, how do you dress to begin with. ஒரு இன்டர்வியூ போகிறீங்கன்னா how well you appear, everything counts. உங்களோட பாடி லாங்குவேஜ்லேருந்து how you speak any language is very important. So that you need to continue to focus, because the one you would interact, you are not going to remain in Chennai or Sriperumbudur or one of the, many of you would work in Bangalore tomorrow, Noida, some of you in few years will travel overseas. You will interact with a lot of people outside your core state. So it's important, one, English will be the medium of language, no doubt. English, we continue to stress, because once you start communicating in a common language, it's very easier to interact with everyone. But more importantly, the confidence. A lot of times we leave that soft skill stating 10 years, once I get experience, automatically it will come. Nothing will automatically come. We have to cultivate and learn பண்ணிக்கணும். So இப்போலேருந்து soft skills க்கு give lot of importance. ஏன்னா we see lot of students coming in, whether in our organization when we take interviews. I work with Matram Foundation also, where we mentor a lot of students from the rural background. The first thing we stress is how to speak, how to confidently speak and how to confidently communicate. அது வந்து பழக தான் வரும். You need to practice. பழக வரணுங்கிறது எப்படி பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னா, இப்போ when we went around the lab, some of them are presenting. So make an attempt to present. ஒரு 10-15 students இருந்தீங்கன்னா, come on a stage like this, stand in front of 10-15 students and try to speak. என்ன ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்குன்னா, உங்களுக்கு இந்த க்ரௌட் ஃபியர் போயிடும். யூ வில், நாளைக்கு 100 பேர் ஆச்சு 1000 பேர் ஆச்சுன்னா, யூ won't be afraid to speak. And once you stand in front and speak, it will help you gain that confidence. And this won't be one time. It has to be done again and again. One very, very simple practice is, என்னோட டீம் மெம்பர்ஸ்க்கு இப்போ கூட சொல்கிறது தான், 2 minutes, if you can write down about your introduction, just after today's graduation, say you are going to appear in an interview tomorrow. If you have to introduce yourself in 2 minutes, first அதை write down, எழுதி வச்சுக்கோங்க. பேப்பரில் எங்கேயாவது எழுதி வச்சுட்டு, I am Suresh, I am Bona அப்படின்னு ஆரம்பித்து 2 minutesக்கு அவங்க இன்ட்ரடக்ஷன் எழுதி come and present it. ஃபஸ்ட்டு ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் கூட ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணலாம். எவ்வளோ கான்ஃபிடென்ட்டாக கிளியராக பேசுறீங்கிறது ரொம்ப முக்கியம். உங்களோட இன்ட்ரொடக்ஷன் வந்து, ரிமெம்பர், உங்களோட இன்ட்ரொடக்ஷன் இஸ் பவர்ஃபுல் தேன் யுவர் ரெஸ்யூமே டாக்குமெண்ட்டில் என்ன வேணால் டைப் அடிக்கலாம். ஃபஸ்ட்டு 4-5 லைன்ஸ்க்கு அப்புறம் எவ்ரி ரெஸ்யூமே லுக் சிமிலர். பார்த்துட்டிங்கன்னா எல்லோரும் ஒரு அப்ளிகேஷன் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் சிஸ்டம் வச்சுருப்பாங்க, லீவ் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் சிஸ்டம், டூல்ஸ், டெக்னாலஜின்னு போட்டுருவோம். அந்த ஃபஸ்ட்டு 5 லைன்ஸ் தான் டாக்ஸ் அபவுட் யுவர் செல்ஃப், ரைட்? I am so and so. I have done EC in JPR Institute of Technology. I come from this background. My hobby. இதை பேசுறது, how do you communicate? ஒன்று எழுதி வச்சு படிக்கிறது, இன்னொரு வாட்டி ரொம்ப சிம்பிள், உங்கள் மிரர் முன்னாடி, வீட்டில் கண்ணாடி இருக்கும், மிரர் முன்னாடி நின்றுக்கோங்க. Just stand in front of the mirror, tell your speech. Now, why mirror? Because you see yourself. You see the best of yourself or the worst of yourself. மிரர் முன்னாடி நின்னீங்கன்னா உங்கள் பாடி லாங்குவேஜ் உங்களுக்கு தெரியும். நிறைய பேர் பேசச்ச கையை சில பேர் இப்படி பேசுவாங்க, சில பேர் இப்படி மேலே இப்படி பார்ப்பாங்க, சில பேர் வந்து சீலிங்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு இருப்பாங்க. அதெல்லாம் கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ணலாம். When you stand in front of a mirror, you are seeing yourself and you are your best judge, right? Next step will be call your friends and then tell them, நான் இப்போ இன்ட்ரொடக்ஷன் கொடுக்க போகிறேன், இப்போ ஜஸ்ட் கிரிட்டிக்கலாக என்னை ரிவ்யூ பண்ண 2 minutes நான் பேச போகிறேன், எனக்கு வந்து ஃபீட்பேக் கொடு. இட் நீட்ஸ் டு பி பீப்புள் ஹூ வில் கிவ் யூ ஃபீட்பேக். நிறைய பேர் வந்து நீ சூப்பராக பண்ண, டன் அப்படின்னு உங்களை சந்தோஷத்துக்காக தே வில் கோ அண்ட் சே அண்ட் கோ. ஸோ ஃபோக்கஸ் ஆன் யுவர் சாஃப்ட் ஸ்கில்ஸ். இட்ஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். தட்ஸ் சம்திங் we continue to differ. Even 10-15 years later, people struggle because suddenly, once into the corporate life, the pace will be very, very different. Each company's expectation is different. You will be trained all of that. There will be enough training given, no doubt about it. But it's very, very, very important that you spend time focusing on soft skills. And in the generation, in the current situation, we have all the information, like I said, in your device. We can't even say I don't have enough information. Ninga Google panninginalo, YouTube, there are enough online courses which help you also to get to that stage. So technology order, please ensure that soft skills are remains as a focus. And it has to come as an initiative from each one of you. Nobody can come and teach you or push you to learn. I mean, உங்களுக்கு interest, சார் சொன்ன மாதிரி passion, it has to come from your side, right? இன்னொரு point attitude is going to be important. When you start working, attitude is important. One thing I always commonly say is, aptitude can be taught. நீங்க என்ன skill set, Java, data analytics, cyber security, all of that companies can teach. Companies can teach you aptitude. Attitude we cannot. Attitude is something which you bring into the room when you walk in. It comes from முன்னாடி சொன்னதுல இருந்து how do you appear, how do you walk in, how do you greet someone, hello, good morning ல இருந்து ஆரம்பிச்சு how do you communicate, உங்க attitude ரொம்ப important. ஒரு team, when you work as a team, கம்பெனிஸ்லயா இருக்கட்டும், காலேஜ்ல இருக்கிற மாதிரி தான். only thing உங்களோட டீம் இன்னும் டைவர்ஸாக இருக்கும். நிறைய ஊர்லேருந்து இருப்பாங்க. ஒரு 10 பேர் உட்காந்து சேர்ந்து ஒர்க் பண்ணச்சா உங்களோட how is your attitude, that will define you as a person. If you are with the right attitude, you can gel well, because உங்கள் teamwork is going to be very, very important as you get into corporate life. So some of these, as you graduate today, that's why இப்போ நிறைய இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் இருக்குல்ல, ஃபேஸ்புக், லிங்க்டின், இன்ஸ்டா எல்லாத்துலேயும் போனீங்கன்னா நிறைய ஸ்பீச்லாம் இருக்குது, லீடர்ஷிப் ஸ்பீக் அப்படிங்கிறது. பட் அதை பார்த்துட்டு போகலாம், ஓ கேட்கறதுக்கு நல்லா இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டு யூ கேன் லிசன், யூ கேன் ஃபார்வர்ட் டு 10 other folks ஆல்சோ. பட் எவ்வளோ ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணுறீங்கிறது அது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியம். இந்த 4-5 points where you remain strong towards your fundamentals, focus on your soft skills, and come with the right attitude and get into that approach. And in general, continue to stay in touch with your faculty, friends, adala, because that network you build is going to be very, very important, right? So it's a new beginning for many of you. That's why this is a very proud day for all the students and parents. As you get into new challenges, there will be new roadblocks. Don't always give up, right? I mean, in terms of திருப்பி நிறைய வாட்டி சொல்லியிருக்காங்க, failure is a stepping stone to success. But again, practice பண்ணி எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் பண்ணுறது தான் தெரியும், in terms of how we have to manage that. Each situation will be different. And lastly, உங்கள் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ், டீம் மெம்பர்ஸோட ஒர்க் பண்ணுறச்சு அந்த இன்க்ளூசிவிட்டி, சார் சொன்ன மாதிரி, you will work with diverse set of people. How do you take all of them together? You need to be more inclusive, and adukku start working towards that, right? And so information is powerful, but how well you use that information is going to define your career from here on, right? So again, very happy to be part of this graduation day, and proud moment to all the students. Congratulations again. Wish you all the best, and hopefully, see all of you coming out in flying colors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful words of wisdom. I would like to introduce a gem of a person who has rendered his invaluable guidance to our college. He is the founder of St. Paul Group of Schools and current rector of St. Thomas Mount National Shrine. He also holds the commendable position of academic advisor and governing council member of JPR Institute of Technology. He is none other than our Reverend Father Michael A.D. I request our Managing Director, Dr. N. Marie Wilson, to felicitate our Father Reverend Michael A.D. Please, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, dignitaries. I request Reverend Father Michael Airy to kindly announce the winners of the Trust Awards, Special Awards, Outstanding Students Award. I request our Chief Guest, Mr. Anand Mohan Ram, Managing Director, Mr. Cooper Group, to kindly do the honor of presenting the awards.
First of all, I take a few minutes, maybe a minute, to thank our Managing Director for this wonderful graduation ceremony. As usual, every year, so many graduates are coming out from this wonderful Institute of Technology, the JPR Institute of Technology. And my congratulations to Managing Director for three things. Already he has mentioned in his presidential address that this year has been a very big blessing to JPR Institute of Technology. It's a very, very proud moment that you have been graduated from such a growing institute. That is very, very important. There are so many colleges are in Chennai and around Chennai. Not all colleges get into this type of challenging task. Not everybody work hard. No, you see in a year receiving NAC A+ and NBA for 2 departments, and especially our dream has come true that we have received just 2 days ago autonomous. Now JPR Institute of Technology is an autonomous institute. That's a very, very proud moment, and you're lucky to receive your graduation as very fresh as from the autonomous college. So I take this opportunity to congratulate our Managing Director and all the HODs, the faculty members, and all the teaching and non-teaching people who have worked for this great success. Let's give them a big round of applause and appreciate our own college. And secondly, I'd like to appreciate all the graduates. I did my graduation at Loyola College, but I never received the graduation in person, only through post. I received only through post. No, because I was in the seminary. I was studying for the priesthood. I have to travel. No, I have to do my studies. I never had an opportunity to go and attend the graduation ceremony. And I did my MA, I did my MBA, all through post. No, I received all the graduations through post. But you are lucky. There is someone to think about you. There is someone to appreciate you. There is someone to guide you even after your finishing your college. No, who will tell you follow the human values even after finishing the college? That is what is your director. So congratulations to all the graduates and பெற்றோர்களுக்கு மிகப்பெரிய பாராட்டு. காரணம் இது உங்களது கனவு. நீங்கள் கனவோடு இந்த கல்லூரியில் சேர்த்தீர்கள். ஒரு நாள் என்னுடைய மகனை, என்னுடைய மகளை பட்டமளிப்பு விழாவிலே அந்த பட்டமளிப்பு உடையோடு அந்த சர்டிபிகேட்டோடு அவர்களை பார்க்க வேண்டும் என்பதுதான் உங்களுடைய கனவு. நீங்கள் எவ்வளவு தியாகங்களை செய்திருக்கிறீர்கள் என்பது எங்களை விட உங்கள் பிள்ளைகளுக்கு அதிகமாக தெரிந்திருக்க வேண்டும். உங்க அப்பா அம்மா தெரியும் உங்களுக்குல்ல. நம்மளுடைய பேரண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாருமே சிம்பிள் பேரண்ட்ஸ். சிம்பிள் பேரண்ட்ஸ். we have a very humble beginning. ஆனால் இன்னைக்கு இவ்வளோ பெரிய ஒரு காலேஜில், ஒரு அட்டானமஸ் காலேஜில் நீங்கள் கிராஜுவேஷன் வாங்கும் பொழுது அது உங்களுடைய அப்பா அம்மாவுக்கு பெரிய பெருமையாக, அவங்களுடைய தியாகத்திற்கு ஒரு பலனாக அது இருக்கும். ஆகவே இந்த வேளையில் உங்கள் அப்பா அம்மாவுக்கு ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு கரவலை எழுப்பி அவர்களது தியாகத்திற்கு, உங்களுக்கு கொடுத்த அந்த வாய்ப்புக்கு நன்றி சொல்லுவோம். I am pleased to announce the prestigious awards on behalf of JPR Institute of Technology for the year 2018 and 2022. He is currently working as a design and project management engineer in Ashok Leyland R&D Chennai. Dr. M.G. Ramachandran Award is presented to S. Arish from the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Let's give a big round of applause and appreciate him. Congrats to S. Arish from the Department of Mechanical Engineering. She is currently working in HCL Technologies. And Kalpana Chawla Award is presented to V. Priyadarshini from the Department of Information Technology. Congratulations to V. Priyadarshini. The college is proud of you. He is currently working as junior software developer at Avenge System Private Limited. Sir C.V. Raman Award is presented to R. Rajesh from the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. Please give them a big round of applause. R. Rajesh from the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. Sir C.V. Raman Award. And this candidate is from the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Award is presented to M. Lavanya. M. Lavanya from the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. M. Lavanya from the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. And she is working at Product Technologies. Saint Mother Teresa Award goes to Advaita Jasmith from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Saint Mother Teresa Award to Advaita Jasmith from Department of Computer Science and Engineering. We have a few special category award going to be announced now. She is currently working as computer customer coordinator in project management and Wipro. We are proud of her. And Miss Learner Award under special category is presented to S. Asha Babina from the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Yes, Asha Babina from the Department of Mechanical Engineering. He is from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. The Man of Wisdom Award under special category is presented to D.R. Hari Krishnan from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. He is placed in Wipro. She is placed in Wipro. Woman of Wisdom Award under special category is presented to R. Pavitra from the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. R. Pavitra from the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Again from the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Aspirational Student Award under special category is presented to M. Tarun Kumar. M. Tarun Kumar. The final award, she is working presently at TCS and she is from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Colonel Dr. JPR Award is presented to overall topper O. Kavita. 25,000 cash award has been presented for the overall topper O. Kavya from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. O. Kavya. Let's give her a big round of applause. One among you is receiving the overall topper.
Now we have the group photo session with the dignitaries and the special awardees. Congratulations awardees and thank you dignitaries. We have reached the much awaited part of this ceremony where our graduates are going to officially become graduates in every sense of the term. We will now begin the distribution of the graduate certificates.
For the Department of CSE, I like to call upon Ms. Aparna E., daughter of Mr. Easwaran and Mrs. Valli.
Graduates, please come forward.
Ms. Aparna E., daughter of Mr. Easwaran and Mrs. Valli. Ms. Advaita Jasmith, daughter of Mr. Jasmith and Mrs. Jessita, has passed out with distinction. Ms. Advaita Jasmith, daughter of Ms. Jasmith and Ms. Jashita. Mr. Ajit S., son of Mr. T. Sridhar and Mrs. S. Anuradha. Mr. Aravinder G.D., son of Mr. Dayalan G. and Mrs. Vijay Lakshmi D. Mr. Aravinder G.D., son of Mr. Dayalan G. and Mrs. Vijay Lakshmi D. Mr. Arun Kumar S., son of Mr. Satyan A. and Mrs. Nagaratinam. Mr. Balaji R., son of Mr. Ramamurthy and Mrs. Lalita. Mr. Bhuvaneshwaran R., son of Mr. K. Rajan and Mrs. Sri Devika. Mr. Bedwin Manuela, son of daughter of Mr. Edwin Jeba and Mrs. Radha Saluja. Mr. Chandru K., son of Mr. Chandru and Mrs. Meenachi. Mr. Deshmukh P., son of Mr. C. Purushothaman and Mrs. P. Kala. Mr. Emmanuel Johnson Paul, son of Mr. Rajan Paul and Mrs. Priscilla Paul. Ms. Geetanjali R., daughter of Mr. Rajendran S. and Mr. Dhanalakshmi, has passed out with distinction. Ms. Kaushika, daughter of Mr. Raju P. and Mr. Nagakani R. Mr. Haris Kannan KG, son of Mr. L. Kadiresan and Mrs. Girija Kadiresan. Mr. Hari Krishnan D.R., son of Mr. D. Ravi and Mrs. R. Priya. Mr. Harish R., son of Mr. Ravichandran and Mrs. Sarala. Mr. Joan Prince A.S., son of Mr. Arul Selvam and Mrs. Sebastian Mary. Miss Julie Christina J., daughter of Mr. John Jayaraj and Mrs. Selvarani Nirmala. Mr. Kalayarasan A., son of Mr. Anandavel V. and Mrs. Amuda. Miss Kavya M., daughter of Mr. Murugan and Mrs. Jayalakshmi, has passed out with distinction. Miss Kavya O., daughter of Mr. Omanakuttan and Mrs. Geeta, has passed out with distinction. Miss Kirtika K., daughter of Mr. Kamalappan and Mrs. Samuda. Mr. Keshav P., son of Mr. Parandaman and Mrs. Vanilla. Mr. Lakshman Pradar R., son of Mr. Rajkumar N. and Mrs. Tamil Shelvi. Mr. Liroshin L., son of Mr. Linus P. and Mrs. Rosanita. Mr. Mohammad Amar A., son of Mr. Abdul Rahman and Mr. Basira Begum. Mr. Muthukrishnan P., son of Mr. Periya Karuppan and Mrs. Devi. Mr. Prabha K., son of Mr. Karpusamy K. and Mrs. Dalita. Mr. Pranesh S., son of Mr. P. Subramanian and Mrs. Kalayarasi.
Congratulations, graduates. Give them a round of applause. Mr. Praveen Kumar K., son of Mr. Kannan and Mrs. Amuda. Mr. Rahul R., son of Mr. Ramesh and Mrs. Vasugi. Mr. Ravi Bharati R., son of Mr. Rajendran and Mrs. Vijaya. Mr. Richard Joseph P., son of Mr. Paul Raj and Mrs. Lalita Isabel Rani. Mr. Ruben Mello, son of Mr. Bal Bahadur Bal and Mrs. Manju Malla. Graduates, kindly give a round of applause. Miss Sangam Malla, daughter of Mr. Murugavel and Mrs. Andana Lakshmi. Mr. Santosh Kumar N., son of Mr. Swarna Pandian and Mrs. Kalishwari. Miss Saranya I., daughter of Mr. Ilavarasu and Mrs. Chandra. Miss Sharmila Roslyn PB, daughter of Mr. Balasamy and Mrs. Vimal Mary. Miss Sharu Bensi, daughter of Mr. Bensiga and Mrs. Sushila, has passed out with distinction. Kindly give a round of applause. Mr. Sivanesh R., son of Mr. Risil Raj and Mrs. Geeta. Mr. Srihari P, son of Mr. Prahalnathan and Mrs. Jayasri has passed out with distinction. Kindly give a round of applause. Mr. Rusan Raj P, son of Mr. Pani Selvam and Mrs. Aruna. Mr. Surya K, son of Mr. Kannappan and Mrs. Desham. Miss Sweta P, daughter of Mr. Pachayappan and Mrs. Vasanthi. Miss Tina D, daughter of Mr. Dahalaram and Mrs. Manu Devi. Miss Vidula V, daughter of Mr. Velandan and Mrs. Naralakshmi has passed out with distinction. Kindly give a round of applause. Miss Vijita A, daughter of Mr. Alexander and Mrs. Merlin has passed out with distinction. Mr. Yugendran R, son of Mr. Ramdas and Mrs. Jayalakshmi. Mr. Pushparaj A, son of Mr. Armugam and Mrs. Gandhi Madi. Miss Ashwini B, daughter of Mr. Venkateshan and Mrs. Bharati. Miss Supriya V.N., daughter of Mr. Nagarajan and Mrs. Padmavati. Mr. Suryagant S., son of Mr. Sarangapani and Mrs. Rajeshwari. Miss Sweta M., daughter of Mr. Murugan and Mrs. Lata. Mr. Udayaraj P., son of Mr. Ponniyan and Mrs. Janastri. Mr. Prabhaharan A., son of Mr. Anbaragan and Mrs. Devagi. Mr. Puvarasan P., son of Mr. Pandian and Mrs. Kavita. Miss Leela S., daughter of Mr. Selva Ganapati and Mrs. Lakshmi. Mr. Kamalesh K., son of Mr. Kaliyamurthy and Mrs. Jayanti. Miss Jayalakshmi S., daughter of Mr. Shanmugam and Mrs. Uma. Miss Jaya V., daughter of Mr. Venkateshan and Mrs. Vanilla.
Congratulations to all the graduates. Department of Information Technology, Mr. Abdul Rahim, son of Mr. Rasak and Mrs. Salima Beham. Mr. Ashwin J, son of Mr. Jayaraman and Mrs. Kavita. Ms. Darshana G, daughter of Mr. Ganeshan and Mrs. Uma Maheshwari. Ms. Hariprita Hariharan, daughter of Mr. Hariharan S. and Mrs. Uma Maheshwari. Mr. Harish R, son of Mr. Rangasamy P. and Mrs. Geeta. Mr. Hemanathan N, son of Mr. Nagappan and Mrs. Jayanti. Ms. Mr. Jagannathan K, son of Mr. Kumar K and Mrs. Kamachi. Miss Jayashree, daughter of Mr. Mr. Jagannathan K, son of Mr. Kumar and Mrs. Kamachi. Miss Jayashree, daughter of Mr. Vasudevan and Miss Lokeshwari. Mr. Jajan Merchant Rajavi, son of Mr. Jayashurya. Mr. Jayashurya. Mr. Kishore RRS, son of Mr. Ratnakumar and Mrs. Sarita.
Mr. Jajin Merchant Raja, son of Mr. Veda Manikam and Jhansi Rani. Mr. Kishore RS, son of Mr. Ratnakumar and Mrs. Sarita.
Mr. Linganathan G, son of Mr. Govindaraj and Mrs. Geeta. Mr. Manikantan P, son of Mr. Palani and Mrs. Vijaya. Miss Mary Sandra L, daughter of Mr. Litzen and Mrs. Helena. Miss Monisha P, daughter of Mr. Parthasarathi and Miss Lata.
Graduates are requested to maintain silence.
Miss Nityashree M, daughter of Mr. Muthukumaran and Miss Sasikala. Miss Pon Kumar K, son of Mr. Kulandaivel and Miss Leelavati. Mr. Pungunjan E, son of Mr. Irayan and Miss Sornamugi.
Mr. Pragadish, son of Mr. Lakshmanan and Mrs. Revati L. Graduates are requested to maintain the decorum. Mr. Prakash, son of Mr. M. Balu and Mrs. B. Gauri.
Mr. Praveen M, son of Mr. Muturaj and Santakumari. Miss Priyadarshini Venkatraj, daughter of Mr. Venkatraj Velayudham and Mrs. Vijayalakshmi Venkatraj, has passed out with distinction. Give them a round of applause. Mr. Rahul Dravid, son of Mr. Karnan and Dhanalakshmi. Miss Ramya Chandrasekharan, daughter of Mr. Chandrasekharan R and Mrs. Amuda. Miss Ramya Bharati, daughter of Mr. Gopi Krishnan and Miss Padmavati. Mr. Siva Prasad V, son of Mr. Valavandan A and Mrs. Sugumati. Miss Nega G, daughter of Mr. Govindan and Miss Vimala, has passed out with distinction.
Miss Neha is daughter of Mr. Siva Sankaran and Mrs. Tilakavati. Mr. Sri Dinesh, son of Mr. Jnanasekhar.
Mr. Sujit S., son of Mr. Subramani and Mrs. Durki. Mr. Sudarshan G. S., son of Mr. Govinda Raju and Mrs. Devi. Mr. Syed Afridi S.Y., son of Mr. Syed Yoshab and Mrs. Tariya. Mr. Tamilarasan S., son of Mr. Sachidanandam and Mrs. Yusha. Mr. Yukesh S., son of Mr. Sanmugam and Mrs. Nimala.
Congratulations for the graduates of Information Technology.
And now, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, I call Mr. Abhilash N., son of Mr. Natar Muthu and N. Chitra. Mr.
Department
Abhilash
of
N.,
ECE, please come forward.
Mr. Abhilash N., son of Mr. A. Natar Muthu and Mrs. N. Chitra. I request students of Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering to come forward.
I request the graduates of the Department of ECE to come forward immediately. Mr. Abhilash, son of Mr. Natar Muthu and Mrs. N. Chitra. Mr. Abhinesh A., son of Mr. Anand Raj and Mrs. Jennifer A.
Mr. Abhinesh A., son of Mr. Anand Raj and Mrs. Jennifer A. Mr. Bhaskaran, son of Mr. K. Siva and Mrs. Bhuma Devi. Mr. Bharani, daughter of Mr. Ravichandran K. and Mrs. Davamani R. Miss Bhavana Devi, daughter of Mr. Gopinath S. and Mrs. Komala Devi.
Ms. Charlene Steffi, daughter of Mr. Selvakumar and Mrs. Sahaya Mary. Ms. Bhuvaneshwari S., daughter of Mr. Shekhar N. and Mrs. Indra V. Ms. Charlene Mary, daughter of Mr. K.P. Joseph and Mrs. K.P. Jacinta. Mr. Dajin Kumar D., son of Mr. Dennis and Mrs. Kemuda. Mr. Dinesh K., son of Mr. Kumar and Mrs. Shiva Shakti K. Mr. Gopalakrishnan S., son of Mr. Shankar and Mrs. Kavita S. Mr. Hari Govind S., son of Mr. Subramanian H. and Mrs. Kala S. Mr. Karthik S., son of Mr. Selvaraj G. and Mrs. Vasanta Malar. Ms. Kavya Priya P.R., daughter of Mr. Raghavan N. and Mrs. Sangeeta R. Ms. Kavi Priya D, daughter of Mr. Durai Rajvi and Mrs. Sumati D. Graduates, please give them a big round of applause. Miss Kirtana is daughter of Mr. Somnath KB and Mrs. Anita B. Miss Lavanya M, daughter of Mr. Marappa M and Mrs. Marama M, has passed out with distinction. Give her a round of applause, guys. Mr. Madhav Raj L, son of Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan K and Mrs. Rukmani L. Mr. Manoj M, son of Mr. Murugan M and Mrs. Alamelu Mangavartai. Mr. Mohammad Farhan S, son of Mr. Syed Ibrahim and Mrs. Syed Ganima S. Miss Pavitra R, daughter of Mr. Raghunandan B and Miss Jamuna Rani R. Miss Ramya is daughter of Mr. Sundar M and Mrs. Vijay Lakshmi S. Mr. Sanjay K, son of Mr. Hemabhushanam and Mrs. Hemavati K. Mr. Srivatsan R, son of Mr. A. Rangarajan and Mrs. J. Kalaivani. Mr. Stanish Roshan P, son of Mr. Peter S. and Mrs. Sagaya Pabida Raj J. Mr. Tarun Kumar M, son of Mr. Michael Sundar Raj PL and Mrs. Roslyn Antuvana J. Miss Vaishali P, daughter of Mr. Perumal P and Mrs. Chitra Devi P. Mr. Yokesh R, son of Mr. N. Ramalingam and Mrs. R. Shanti. Graduates, please stay inside the auditorium. Mr. Yuvaraj P, son of Mr. Pannir Selvam S and Mrs. Maheshwari P. Miss Niveta, daughter of Mr. Loganathan E and Mrs. Ananda Jodi L, has passed out with first class with distinction. Congratulations for the graduates of ECE. Next for the Department of EEE, Mr. Rajesh, son of Mr. Ramasamy and Mrs. Vasuki. Mr. Sivasambhu Paikar, son of Mr. Balunki Paikar and Mrs. Ritu Paikare. Mr. Sukumaran, son of Mr. Ponnurangam and Mrs. Lata P. Mr. Lokeshwaran, son of Mr. Vasu V and Mrs. Karpagam K. Many congratulations to the graduates of the Department EEE.
I kindly request
Next for the Department of Mechanical Engineering.
Mr. Abhinesh Yam, son of Mr. Maria Michael Das and Mrs. Anita Rose J. Mr. Amir Aryadharan GA, son of Mr. Anthony Gangadharan T. and Mrs. Anita Valli. Mr. Ashik A., son of Mr. Arul Seelan and Mrs. Jay Keela. Mr. Crosin V. Thaddeus, son of Mr. Thaddeus and Mrs. Vigilan. Mr. Dinakara Prabhu A., son of Mr. Arumugam S. and Mrs. Tamil Shelvi. Mr. Dinesh Raj S., son of Mr. Savari Muthu and Mrs. Liza Mary. Mr. Gunasegar A., son of Mr. T. Arun Selvan and Mrs. A. Rose. Mr. Hanbal P. Henry, Mr. Henry S. and Mrs. Punitha Mary.
I request the parents to please sit on their respective seats.
Hanbal P. Henry, son of Mr. Henry S. and Mrs. Punitha Mary. Miss Harsha R.G., daughter of Mr. Gunaseelan R. and Mr. Girija. Mr. Jackson J.A., son of Mr. Jacob G. and Mrs. Amala A.
Parents, kindly be seated. Parents are requested to sit in their
Mr.
respective
Jeffrey J.,
places.
son of Mr. John Kennedy and Mrs. Geeta Jacqueline. Mr. Jocelyn J., son of Mr. Joseph G. and Mrs. D. Jacqueline.
பெற்றோர்கள் தயவு செய்து அவங்கவுங்க இடத்துல இருங்க.
Mr. John Bebito.
பெற்றோர்கள்
Mr. John Bebito B., son of Mr. Baby John and Mrs. Sheila.
பெற்றோர்கள் அனைவரும் தங்களது இருக்கைகளில் அமரவும்.
Mr. Jose Melvin J., son of Mr. Joseph Stanley and Mrs. Herlin. Mr. Jyotish Nirmal J., son of Mr. John and Mrs. Mary Nirmala. Mr. Kirti Raj S., son of Mr. Selvamuthu G. and Mrs. Kamachi. Mr. Kishore G., son of Mr. Gandhi G. and Mrs. Rajakumari. Mr. Kumaravel R., son of Mr. Ravi N. and Mrs. R. Abhirami. Mr. Libin V., son of Mr. Vijay Kumar and Mrs. Vimala Arul Selvi. Mr. Lingesh R., son of Mr. Ramesh D. and Mrs. Selvarani. Mr. Mani Bharati R., son of Mr. Ravi T. and Mrs. Parvati R. Mr. Mukilan R., son of Mr. Ravi Chandra T. and Mrs. Tamil Shelvi. Mr. Naveen Nehru R., son of Mr. Rajkumar P. and Mrs. Valli R.
Graduates are requested to
Mr.
kindly
Naveen
maintain
J.,
silence.
son of Mr. Anandan P.A. and Mrs. Nirmala.
Graduates, please kindly maintain silence. Parents, பெற்றோர்கள் தயவுசெய்து தங்களோட இருக்கையிலே அமரும்.
Mr. Prabhu J., son of Mr. Janaki Raman and Mr. Jyoti Lakshmi. Mr. Rahul Khanna B, son of Mr. Balamurugan and Mrs. Vijay Chitra. Mr. Vignesh R, son of Mr. Ramachandran B and Mrs. K. Swebukani. Mr. Vigneshwaran, son of Mr. Dharmar M and Mrs. D. Radha. Mr. Arunachalam, son of Mr. Dhanasekaran K and Mrs. Mala D. Mr. Harish, son of Mr. Sundar K and Mrs. Kavita, has passed out with distinction. Mr. Satyan, son of Mr. Gopinath N and Mrs. G. Sankari. Ms. Asha Babina S, daughter of Mr. Susay Raj A and Mr. Fatima Ragini. Mr. Alan Jeffrey, son of Mr. Armstrong S, Mrs. Sagair Prabha. Congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, dignitaries. I request the gathering to kindly rise to take the oath of graduation. I repeat, I request the gathering to kindly rise to take the oath of graduation. I request the graduates to kindly rise to take the oath of graduation.
Yeah, we'll take the pledge. Please repeat. We shall, in thought, word and deed, ever endeavor to be scrupulously honest in the discharge of our duties in our profession, and shall uphold the dignity and integrity of our profession and the honor of our university. We shall uphold and advance social order and the well-being of our fellow members, and shall devote all our energy to promote the unity, integrity, and secular ideal of our country. Thank you.
Thank you, dignitaries. Thank you, graduates.
Hello. Graduates, please maintain silence. The graduation ceremony is officially completed. Next, stepping into the graduate thoughts. For oft, when on my couch I lie, in a vacant or a pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of the solitude, said William Wordsworth. In this note, I call upon the graduates to share their fond memories of JIT. Firstly, Mr. Hari Krishnan Dia from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering.
Yeah. Good morning all. First of all, thank you all students, parents and all staff for making this event. At this moment, I want to thank JIT for providing this opportunity to speak up here. I still remember my first day at the college, standing in the lecture hall, mind filled with of enthusiasm, dreams and anxiety. Today, we all step forward in achieving our dreams and goals. Thank you all professors, staffs and parents for providing the best path to reach our career destination. These 4 years, more than just learning the subjects, we learn the discipline, knowledge, professionalism, diverse culture, etc. comprise package to become self-sustainable in competitive world. Thank you JIT for providing the best environment to grow. And at this moment, I want to thank our beloved director, sir, for always providing us the best resources. Yeah. Our director, sir, always mention about the teamwork. I'm happy to be a part of this team, JIT, and wish this team for the future success and endures. And yeah, that's from my side. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, Hari Krishnan, for your thoughts. Next, Ms. Asha Babina S. from the Department of Mechanical Engineering.
A very good afternoon to everyone gathered here. So, in the early stages of my academic journey, I found myself as a lone female student in my department. It was very tough at first, but as I moved forward, something amazing happened. The staff and my fellow students had my back. They supported me in many ways that went beyond words. We broke down barriers together, making our academic space more inclusive. We are here presented today not as a student, but as someone who has the privilege of call this institution a home for past 4 years. As we come together on this stage, I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt appreciation for the incredible community that is our college. Firstly, let me extend my deepest gratitude to our Managing Director, Dr. N. Maria Wilson. Your visionary leadership has been the driving force and behind the growth and success of our college. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the head of the department, Arun Subramaniam, for mechanical. Your leadership has been a guiding light for us, inspiring a passion for our choosing fields and providing the invaluable insights that beyond the classroom. To the entire teaching faculty, your commitment to imparting knowledge and nourishing curiosity has left an indelible mark on all of us. A special acknowledgement to the non-teaching staff who, behind the scene efforts, ensure the seamless functioning of our college. To my parents, the pillars of my support and silent architect of my dreams, thank you for unwavering encouragement. Your sacrifice and beliefs in my potential have been the driving force in my journey. To my fellow students and friends, you are the heartbeat of this college. The shared experience and mutual encouragement have made this journey more memorable. In closing, thank you each and every one of you for being a vital for the incredible journey. Today is not just a celebration of academic achievement. It's a celebration of shared growth, shared dreams, and shared success. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Asha. Next, from the Department of ECE, I call upon Mr. Tarun Kumar M.
Good morning all. Thank you for this opportunity. Today I am in front of you because of my parents. They forced me to take this college through counseling. So it was not a funny thing, but after getting into the college, I got a lot of opportunity. So I will thankful to this institution because my director did a lot of things. So first semester, I started with NCC, and at second semester, from my professors, Tandya Prabhu and Yokesh, he forced me to do some electronics projects. So on their guidance, I started my one analog line follower circuit. So it started given me some guide, and from my seniors, I got guidance, and I started doing some other projects, and I went to IIT Madras and won second prize there. So that inspiration given me to go further, and at that time, our director brought a good opportunity to get into satellite technology. So that technology inspired me. Then I passed my interview, and I got opportunity from Benisha ma'am. So she asked a sponsorship to the director, sir. He given me a sponsor. Then I done my CANSAT workshop. So, and I completed it. And then I started getting experience. Then I built my own CANSAT, and I conducted almost 3 workshops in this college with the support of director, sir, for my juniors. Then after I got internship at Astromeda Space Private Limited, Bangalore, a completely purely technical company, electronic and communication, and I continue doing projects with defense technologies and all. And the main thing I understand in this institution and my journey is, like, we have opportunity. When you are working on it, we will get the opportunity. In this institution, we have a lot of opportunities. So how we are grabbing it depends on us. So I am happy to share my thoughts here, and I am very happy to be in this institution. Even though I forced to take this institution, now I am happy at final stage. So thank you all. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Tarun Kumar. To conclude this grand ceremony with the grand gesture, I kindly request Dr. S. Suresh, HOD of Science and Humanities, to propose the vote of thanks.
Yes, good afternoon. Respected dignitaries, esteemed faculty members, dear students, our cherished guests, and my beloved graduates. As we come to the close of this delight event of 7th graduation day, it is my privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to all those who have made this event a resounding success. First and foremost, I want to express my deepest gratitude to our Managing Director, Dr. N. Murray Wilson, whose unwavering vision and dedication have provided us with a foundation of knowledge, growth, and opportunity. Thank you, sir. I thank the chief guest of the day, Mr. Anand Manoharam, Managing Director, Mr. Cooper Group, for being an integral part of this eventful day. Thank you, sir. I thank our academic advisor and governing council member, Reverend Father Michael Eddy. Your commitment and nurturing young minds and initialing values in our student is praiseworthy. Thank you, Father. I owe an immense debt gratitude to our Dean, Dr. Madhusudanan, sir. Thank you for your constant support, sir. Thank you. I thank all the teachers for their invaluable contribution and their tireless efforts in manifesting the vision of our institution. Thank you, one and all. Our heartfelt thanks. I thank our institution media supporter, Mr. Durai Pandian, sir. Our heartfelt thanks go out to all the individuals who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make this celebration possible. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to our graduates. Your enthusiasm, curiosity, and hunger of knowledge are testament to the impact of our educator and our founder. Thank you, one and all. May we all be inspired to carry forward the legacy of excellency, wisdom, and compassion that has been bestowed upon us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request everybody to rise at your feet for the national anthem.
जनगण मन गतिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उच्चल बंगा विंदगी माचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि सरंगा जल शुभ नामे जागे जब शुभ आशीष मागे जागे जब जय दाता जनगण मंगल नायक जय गे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय गे जय गे जय गे जय 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 गे.
Graduates and the parents are requested to please be seated. Thank you for the challenges, opportunity, and beauty of the day.